All right, we're talking about Smuckers, SJM on New York. Everybody knows the Smuckers brand and the Jif brand. You may not have known that Smuckers actually owns Jif, and they own lots of other brands that you probably didn't know. And I'm going to go over those in a second. But before that, I want to give a plug out to my boys, Freddie Vanvleet and Pascal Siakim, because they're currently running a ad for peanut butter and jam, and specifically Jif and Smuckers. So I'm a big NBA fan, big fan of the Raptors. I live in Toronto, so why not? And these are two really great Raptors. So let's give them a little plug since they're talking about, or they're in a commercial for a stock that I quite like. All right, so we said we were going to talk about their other brands. Okay, so here's kind of their overall mix. Let me jump in, smooth it out, or zoom in, I should say, for everybody. I can't locate my cursor. There we go. All right, we're in business. Okay, so Folders is their big coffee brand. You know, coffee's huge. I think Folders has fallen behind for many years now, but I think they're still okay. They still do pretty good sales with that. And Dunkin' Donuts. Now, let's be clear. They're selling the Keurig Dunkin' Donuts kind of things. They're not selling to Dunkin' Donuts. They're branding it Dunkin' Donuts, like their distribution through grocery stores. And Folgers as well as doing the Keurig stuff. I think it's getting better. I personally actually buy the Folgers because, especially when I'm doing the Keurig, it's just as good as any brand name out there, like a Starbucks or Tim Hortons or whatever, when you're buying it in the Keurig form. So, I see no reason they can't grow that brand. Okay, in the consumers and natural foods, obviously, this is the peanut butter and jam. Crisco, everybody's heard of that. Pillsbury, some of these other brands I don't know as well, but they're interesting as well. And then, of course, pet food, and this is big. I mean, this is a big area. Pets are really a big deal, really growing. We used to cover Blue Buffalo, was one of the companies that got taken out, had a nice premium. Blue Buffalo, who took them out? Oh, I can't remember now. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It was a great little company, and one of the big food companies took them out. And I'm telling you, pets is a big area. All right, so let's look at it in our return on invested capital world. And you see a pretty outstanding track record, and I love that it's been basically improving their return on capital for 20 years, almost in a straight staircase fashion, but not quite. Actually, it has slipped a little bit here. It's hard to see. This is not the greatest graphic when it goes off our chart, but it peaked in 2017 at 33%. It slipped a little down to 29%, which is not the end of the world. That's probably more noise than anything. But the stock has also come down. It used to be a $140 stock about 2 years ago. And it's just trickled down a little bit, down to 104, but we still think it's worth 140. It's a good little name. I typically don't like to buy a stock where the return is slipping. So I'd like to see that turn back up just a little bit. That would be nice to see. I think let's put it on a more granular level on a quarterly basis. It might be hard to see on this. Yeah, you can't even really see it, but I can just read it out. A little quarter after quarter, just slipped just a little down to 29 now. But 29 still, most companies would kill to have a 29% return on invested capital. Great little dividend yield here too, 3%, but growing. Great dividend chart. That's classic. Growing their dividend, growing their cash flow, keeping their payout ratio pretty low at about 31%. All in all, I think you gotta quite like this brand and stock. You may be able to get it slightly lower. I wouldn't fool around with it too much. I think probably stepping in here is fine, but it has bounced up a little bit recently. But I mean, that's just kind of normal trading. Overall, good name, SJM. Go Freddie, go Pascal.